Good morning. A little bit later start than anticipated today. Oh, we gotta get wilderness permits. Okay.
Welcome to another episode of Peak Bagging with Hank Lather, a show where we bag mostly inconsequential peaks along the PCT. Today, we will be targeting Sawtooth Mountain using the Sawtooth Mountain Trail, a trail that parallels the PCT for about 1.4 miles, adds somewhere in the neighborhood of 800 to 900 feet of elevation gain, and takes you up most of the way Sawtooth Mountain. We'll see what happens.
Okay, I'm back. There's a little pause between there. I got a wilderness permit. Realized afterwards that we already had one that I guess maybe still covers this section, so probably wasn't necessary, but whatever. Anyway, we only just recently learned that PCT hikers still need the wilderness permits. So anyway, regardless, Henry just got off a little turn because he's going to summit Sawtooth Mountain. I think it's about the same distance as the PCT. It runs parallel, but it's about 1,000 extra feet of elevation. He's, as you've gathered, into the side peak bagging missions, etc. So he's doing that. I'm gonna stick to the PCT. That actually does connect down the other side. So again, he will technically miss a short section of the PCT that he will have done essentially an alternate on to go over Sawtooth Mountain. But yeah, the first about 7 miles today, I think, is a climb, maybe 6 miles, I don't know. So that's what I'm doing now, about maybe 1.5 miles or so in. And yeah, nothing too exciting. This is the night that we are trying to camp at this particularly desirable campsite at like the very top of a mountain with really good views of one of the volcanoes. I'm not even sure which one it is. But anyway, and Henry really values a campsite with a good view. And we've missed a lot of them recently just because, you know, if you hit them in the middle of the day, it doesn't really work out. So anyway, we have planned for the last couple of days to do this. So we have like 23.5 miles today to get there. And it's kind of a small campsite. So Henry is actually going to hike ahead. We'll probably be hiking separately for basically the whole day. We hiked together for like a mile at the beginning, but because he is going to bag Sawtooth and then kind of get to the campsite as quickly as he can to try to get a spot earlier in the day, because I probably won't get there till, you know, maybe 8 o'clock or whenever, I don't know. But so yeah, he's going to do that, and it's good too because he does have a lot of opportunity to listen to podcasts and things for his studying, but doesn't have as much opportunity to read. He has some books for his studying as well on his Kindle, and you know, when you're hiking all the time, you can't really read. So he will be able to hopefully do some of that once he secures our spot at camp. So anyway, that's about it. Yesterday afternoon, we ran into an old friend who, it's funny, you like see people and it's really nice going the same direction, but even like if you're not specifically traveling together, you know, people stop in different towns, they go different distances, they, you know, do Neros or zeros at different places, and so you might see somebody a lot and then never see them again, or you know, you might not have seen someone for a couple of weeks and then run into them. So anyway, ran into a friend yesterday afternoon and then ended up camping with her last night, so that was fun. I don't know where she's planning on camping. There's more than one site, so hopefully she could camp you know, up at the top as well if she wanted. And there's like a nearby mountain called Huckleberry Mountain that you can also camp at if that place is full. Apparently the views aren't quite as good, but still probably pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't think the Huckleberry part would be very applicable because there are, you know, lots of huckleberry plants and stuff around, I think, but we're just still a little early for that like peak ripening, so I don't know that we would get many huckleberries. I am seeing in some people's Instagrams and stuff that there are a lot of berries in Oregon right now, and we're almost to Oregon, so hoping for some berries there. But anyway, yeah, that's about it. Should be a fairly uneventful day, I would think. We did hear last night a pack of coyotes, I guess, probably on like a hunt. I don't know, they were howling and yipping and yapping and stuff. It's pretty cool. They're far enough away that it, didn't really make me nervous. But anyway, that's all. I'll let you know if anything interesting or exciting happens.
Part way up, and who do we see? Mount Adams. We've started the bushwhacking portion of this bag. I'm guessing a lot of people don't do this. Dang, this is a very sweet ridge up here. See Mount Hood over there. Wow, the summit of this thing is very cool. You get the 4 volcano view. Adams. Hood. Mount St. Helens. Rainier. I guess I understand why they call it Sawtooth now. Pretty cool. Time to go back down. Well, that was fun. Back on trail now. I guess this would have been a more straightforward way to gain the ridge, but I don't know. I like my route. It's very safe, although kind of unpleasant at times. Wow. What an insane collection of these gorgeous flowers. This is nuts. Oh, wow.
Well, I have a feeling it's going to be a relatively quick day because the bugs have gotten pretty bad. Hard to stop, and I just checked in on how I'm doing. Mileage-wise, I've gone 8.6 miles in 3 hours, which is a little bit less than 3 miles per hour, which, to be fair, is, not the fastest ever. Some people go super, super fast, but it's definitely faster than I normally go. Partly because normally I would take some breaks. Normally I would have taken a break before 8.6 miles, but I don't really see that would be an enjoyable or profitable thing. So I don't really have many snacks left in my fanny pack, so I'll have to figure out what to do for lunch. Probably just make a quick stop, grab some stuff out of my bag quickly, and try to eat it while I'm walking. Unless I happen to find somewhere with fewer mosquitoes, that would definitely be nice. But I don't know that is a very realistic dream. So to be determined, but it will make for an efficient day, so that's good.
That actually looks like a really cool trail if it goes where I think it does, which is to this. You can see it on top of the map. It's like big kind of round volcano thing with kind of a volcano depression, which is kind of short, and it's got a pool in it. Looks really cool to go see, but no time. Okay, so there's no trail to the top of East Crater, and it looks kind of steep on the top of the map, so I don't think I'm missing much. I think that trail just goes around it to the other side. Well, now that I'm on the other side, it looks pretty darn bushwhackable up there, especially correlating with the topo. But got other objectives. Already did my one side trip for the day. God, so tempting. Looks so mellow. Nope, gotta keep going. This is Blue Lake, my lunch spot. Extremely pleasant. A little breeze off the water. Hopefully this keeps the skeeters at bay.
Not staying long, but this is one of the first views I've gotten today. It's been about maybe 11 miles. So that's pretty nice. I'm not even sure what that is. I vaguely feel like it could be Mount Hood, but uncertain. It looks pointier than the other ones that I'm familiar with. And hopefully we're getting closer to Oregon, so it makes sense that it could be Mount Hood, but honestly, I am too hot and uninterested to look at Gaia and see what it is. So I'm sure it will become clear in time. All right, update. Hiking for 4 hours, gone 11.5 miles. I really think today is going to be a speed record for me. I just, there's a lot of bugs. Although honestly, thankfully it's not as bad as Northern California, where part of the section we did, it was just like, it didn't matter how fast you were walking, they were all over you. So sometimes it's hard to tell. It's like, well, maybe they've cleared up in this area, and so you have to actually, especially if you have your head net on. If you don't have your head net on, you can generally tell by like how many are flying in your face. But if you have your bug net on, it can be hard to tell. So sometimes you have to like stop for a minute to see. So it's possible that maybe they're not all that bad, but I am going to take a break soon. Hopefully it won't be too bad. You can go to the bathroom and maybe dig something out for lunch. But I want to get to the top of this hill first. So yeah, I still haven't seen Henry. I would imagine he's behind me, just because I think the Sawtooth Mountain alternate, it did obviously have a lot more elevation, so I'd expect that to take a bit longer, but also I think the distance might have been a little bit longer than the PCT as well. So I assume that he's behind me, but I guess he could be in front of me if he was really fast. So I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully I'll see him at some point, and if not, then I will meet him at the campsite as planned. All right, update, made it to the top of the thing. Paused to go to the bathroom and see if I could eat lunch. Quickly confirmed that there are 1 million mosquitoes, along with bigger, louder, buzzing things. I don't know, large flies and bees and whatever. And I got my food for the rest of the day, other than dinner, which I do at camp, out from my food bag so that I could put it in a side pocket so that it's more easily accessible, and put some snacks in my fanny pack that I will probably have for lunch, and got back on. So moving again, there are bugs that bother you while you're still moving. So this could be worse. I am pretty happy with this overall, but it really does prevent you from stopping for any amount of time with any amount of comfort. It is definitely better to keep walking, even if you really want to take a break. And you can always take a break, and then as soon as you take one, you'll be like, oh yeah, no, this is worse. So that's the update. All right, when I pulled out my phone to video the view, you could see that mountain. Again, we're just gonna call it Mount Hood because I feel like it is, but and then because there it is. Oh gosh, a giant, I think it was a grasshopper, just flew into my head. They're so like strong and loud and scary. I don't know, I guess I really don't like grasshoppers. Anyway, by the time I got my phone out and started to record, because I didn't want to stop moving, you couldn't see it anymore. So anyway, I think hopefully you got a glimpse there. Been, like I said, mostly in the trees today, so always nice to have a moment. Oh gosh, bug net just got snagged. No. I'm gonna tell a story about a bug net in a minute, but yeah, okay, we're gonna shut this thing down. Okay, so my story about the bug net, it's not really a story so much as when again, it's really hard to remember like what we've already put in these videos or not, so this could very well be a repeat story. If it is, I'm sorry. But anyway, when we were going into the section near Bernie Falls, Northern California, worst mosquitoes we've had, we had heard that the mosquitoes were bad. And unfortunately, we weren't getting our bug nets sent to us until Bernie Falls. We had heard the mosquitoes were bad before that. And so I was like, shoot, we should try to get some. And bug nets are not as readily available as you might think. Like, they certainly do sell them places, but it's not like, oh, every Target will have a bug net, So we were in the LA area. We were in Anaheim, and you'd think you'd be able to get a bug net there pretty easily, but it looked like the Walmarts, they were saying it wasn't in stock. And the other thing is, like, we weren't trying to spend like a bunch of money on Ubers and stuff to to like go all over looking for. I mean, I'm sure we could have like gotten somewhere, but you know, we were mostly walking places and just didn't, you know, have a lot of ways to get around everywhere unless we wanted to like pay for a bunch of rides, which again would be fine if needed, but we're kind of like, oh, do we really need them? Anyway, I was like still trying to find one and found this place called Big Five Sporting Goods, which I've seen like several places on the West Coast here. Kind of like almost like a Dick's Sporting Good or something like that, but like kind of smaller. So it definitely has some like outdoor stuff, but it's not like REI or something that's like definitely gonna have a bug net. And Anaheim isn't a particularly outdoorsy place that like, oh yeah, Target, Walmart's gonna have like a robust camping section, you know. It's just like probably not. So anyway, went in there and they had them and I was so excited. I was really happy. They were those like Calhoons, Calhoons, I don't know. They're like kind of, they have like very old looking packaging. They kind of look very cheap and the stuff generally is cheap, which is nice. Anyways, we picked up a couple of those. They're definitely not as nice as these ones, but super happy to have them because as we've discussed many a time, those were the absolute worst mosquitoes. But anyway, after we went through those mosquitoes and we got these bug nets sent to us, I could not bring myself to throw the cheap head net away. I was just like, sorry, I'm going around a tree. I was just like I was just envisioning, you know, ripping a hole in my bug net. And like in general, I feel like I am pretty good about carrying not that much stuff, like pretty good at just saying like, you know what, that would be nice, but I don't need it. I don't want to carry it. Like it's fine. But something about this bug net, I mean, first of all, it weighs like nothing, which people say that about a lot of stuff. I don't actually know how much it weighs, but it would be hard for me to imagine that it weighs more than like an ounce. It probably weighs like, honestly, it probably weighs less than half an ounce, but anyway, I just couldn't bring myself to get rid of it. I was like, I just like, what if my bug net gets a hole? Like this feels like a critical item to me now. So anyway, I keep thinking, oh, should I get rid of it? Should I get rid of it? I've just been carrying it around in like a little Ziploc in my clothes bag. And now today, twice, my head net has like kind of aggressively snagged on a branch. And so I'm like, honestly, no, I'm just going to keep it. And if I carry around 15 grams, 10 grams, I don't know, of unnecessary bug net weight, and I never use it, it will be worth it because holy cow, a bug net just really, it doesn't take away the pain, but it certainly lessens it. It's a pretty big factor in survival of these bugs for me at least. So also I realize you're getting a lot of monologues by me today, so if you like that, I'm glad, and if not, you've probably already skipped them, so we should be all good.
Ooh, a fire tower over there. It's pretty interesting. Oh my gosh, I just started filming. This is incredible. What? I come across to see some wave. I'm like, oh yeah, nice. People like, that's Pamela. What? Oh my gosh.
I'm actually about to leave. I've been sitting here for a while.
Oh my gosh. Tell me again what your speed was.
Oh, I went about 2.9 for the first 4 hours, and then I just kept hitting hurdles. I think I slowed down after that because I tried to have lunch and there were too many bugs, and then I was eating as I was walking, and then it was really hot. And now I finally found like there's still bugs here. Obviously, I'm actively waving them away, but they're less than they were, so my back was kind of hurting. So I've taken a little break here. We have just under 10 miles.
Oh my goodness. This is very surprising.
All right. This update kind of has already spoken for itself. You can see I am not wearing my bug net anymore. And we've heard from multiple sources now that that we were going to get out of the mosquitoes in, you know, however long. It's been, I don't know, a few miles from the last. I can't really describe it. But anyway, ran across people that were like, oh yeah, they're almost over. And that we wouldn't get them again until, one person said Timberline Lodge, which is 50 miles south of the border. So that means another 20, 40, 50, like 100 miles. Pretty good. And then somebody else said like the Three Sisters area, which I guess is maybe around the same. I think it's a little bit south of Timberline Lodge, actually, if I'm thinking about it right. But anyway, so that's good news. And yeah, I enjoy any amount of time without mosquitoes, or appreciate. I mean, not that I enjoy any time there's not mosquitoes, but I'm always thankful, because pretty much any situation can be worse by, or made worse by, adding mosquitoes. So that's the update. Okay, I realized today I've had very little to share in terms of like, ooh, just tripped, looking around and stuff, and more just kind of going on rants. But I have one more for you guys. Maybe there's more, I don't know. Disaster has struck. My Spotify will not play my downloaded music. And honestly, most of the time I listen to podcasts, so normally this wouldn't be a good, like, or a big deal. But I feel like yesterday and today, my music really pumped me up. I was like, man, I think this is a secret tool I need to like utilize a little more. And it just like, it was working this morning. All my downloaded albums, I mean, I didn't look at all of them, but multiple downloaded albums working totally fine. I go to play one now. It says it's downloaded, but it won't. All the songs are like grayed out, like it won't play them. And yeah, and even the ones that were playing this morning, like just none of them. So this is really kind of sad. And yeah, I restarted my phone. I went into the settings of Spotify to see, like, did something get messed up? I don't know. I can't figure it out. So I guess I'm gonna have to stick to podcasts or audiobooks or my own thoughts and prayers. But which is fine. Sometimes a lot of times I have songs stuck in my head, so I guess that's kind of like listening to music produced by your own brain, but it's not really the same, you know? Anyway, sort of a bummer. Hopefully I can figure it out at some point, or if not, maybe like reset it in Cascade locks. I don't know, I didn't do anything. All I've done since the last time I listened to music was listen to podcasts, so kind of unfortunate. Not the fastest water ever, but I don't have any, so it'll work. And I definitely prefer this to lake collection. Not that there's anything wrong with lake collection, but I don't know. Something about flowing water, hard to beat.
All right, we made it. Well, I made it. Pamela's coming soon. This campsite we've been targeting for 2 days. With those views, that's what we wanted. Those are some nice clouds. Hope the sunset does something really sweet with them.
Alright, unfortunately there was supposed to be water and I couldn't find it. I ended up like passing the tent sites where it was supposed to be, and it turned out you had to go down this trail and stuff, and I didn't see a sign. Anyway, so I like walked for a while and then ended up having to backtrack, and thankfully found a far out comment that explained you have to go back through the campsites and over some blowdowns and stuff, but unfortunately it's not really what you would call flowing. I guess that's moving a little bit. I have to collect from this stagnant pool, but I will say the water looks clear. Ooh, I should close this. The water looks clear, which is always reassuring, even if it shouldn't be. At least it doesn't like appear murky. That's always a plus for me personally.
Welcome to another episode, Peak Bagging with Hank Lather. Going up to Big Huckleberry Mountain to scout, see if there's an even better campsite. But I think we'll end up camping at Saddle. All right, we're on our approach. What views will we get? There's my hood. Made it to the summit. We have a fireplace with some scrap metal and some burned broken glass. And not as good of views. Those clouds are puffing up nicely now. Random side trail up here. I'll follow it, see where it leads. So, Pam has some service and was checking her email.
I don't even know what you're filming right now.
Pamela, what does XPad say is wrong with our pad?
I had submitted a customer service thing because part of the pad, like,
popped out, you know, and I tried to explain it, and we sent a picture as you're supposed to. And I specified that we did not, like, blow it up and leave it as it got hotter, because that could make it explode. Anyway, they said, "We are sorry to hear your mat." This is not funny. What? This is not funny. I'm sorry. We are sorry to hear your mat has a blown baffle.
A blown baffle.
Why is that so funny? I'm only laughing because you think it's so funny.
I don't know. It just is. Anyway, that's part of our 1,000-mile gear issues. Blown baffle. So, but this is being treated as a manufacturer defect.
Yeah. This is
As blown baffles ought to be. And so they're sending us a new pad.
Yeah.
And we are supposed to dispose of the old one.
Yeah, they said we have to write this number with Sharpie on near the valves, and then we
Take a picture, send it
take
to
a
them.
picture and send it to them and throw it away.
And then we get our new mat.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll do it like general delivery.
We also now have to return the REI mat we purchased from them and sent to Pamela's step-grandpa.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's boring. But we're
Also,
slowly fixing
we're
our
very
1,000-mile.
happy to return a $300 mat. Like,
Yes,
we would
we are.
rather not spend $300 on another mat, so
That's true.
it's good.
Baffle. So beautiful, but so hazy. Why is it so hazy?